Hello. Okay, so I love that this company does clinical studies and that we can say that to our customers. I'm curious where we can get the resources to send to these customers and to the people that want to join us as well, because I've had that question a lot recently. Like, you claim that there's clinical studies, but we don't have that resource to send to them. So I'm curious where we can find that.
Well, we can certainly make some of that highly, scientific stuff available, but here's the scoop. You don't really want to make it so complicated. So whenever I hear that, my second question is always, who are you talking to and what are you telling them? Right? Because most people aren't going to want that depth of information. And what are you, can I ask a question? What are you saying to them when they're like, show me clinical studies? Because most people don't know what to do with them and they're super scientific.
Yeah, it's the nurses and the nurse
practitioners. Okay.
That they're like, their friends that they're talking to in the healthcare field are saying, well, you said that you have clinical studies. Show me those clinical studies.
Yes. So I'm gonna put a pitch in here for the other thing. I'm not saying that group's not moving fast, just FYI, because they are. The other thing that fast-moving groups are doing is they're making it very, 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 very simple. So the reason that concerns me from a network marketing standpoint is my grandma isn't going to join my business if she thinks she has to give people clinical studies. Does that make sense to everybody? So you want to be careful. Someone said no. Someone say no.
A lot of people who are like me, who are analytical, I want to know the ingredients because I've been doing Colicine stuff for a long time. So before I ever met Plexus, I was going to Whole Foods. I was that crunchy mom. I'm going to be 67, so I was a crunchy mom a long time. So I want to know the ingredients. I'm used to reading them.
No, we know that, and don't think we disregard that. You take longer to join usually, but you last longer. And I'll tell you that. So don't think we don't think that's important, so we'll find it.
There are a lot of people like this.
Oh. There's a difference between you want to see what's in the products and you want to see clinical studies.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Just be nice to have.
We can 100% make those. Yep. We can make those available for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So here's what. So I'm like, Kirby likes to say share. I'm not afraid to say sell, because honestly and truly, I believe that sales is the transference of inspiration. And what I'm inspiring you to do is live a different life. And we are patented and all that kind of good stuff. But what people want is a feeling more than anything else. Meet a need. The need is I don't feel good. And that makes me feel hopeless, frustrated, stuck, sad, like I'm missing out on my life. Like those are things I would encourage you all to lead with because they're more impactful than it's clinically studied. Now, for people that are in the science field, to Kirby's point, y'all are just science people, and I know. It's kind of like talking to, like, you're all logical, and I get that. So there's nothing wrong with that. We can absolutely make those things available to you, so that if somebody goes, well, what's the clinical study? You 100% could, you could show them.
They are available. They're available. If you go to the product info sheet for like XOS, Slim and MBA, so like, a lot of times,
The link doesn't work.
Oh,
oh no, at the bottom, at the very bottom right here, the XOS clinical studies, they don't work?
No.
Oh, I always know.
What?
Maybe people just look at it and say, oh, thanks.
Chris.
Yeah, just one
This is
one
our,
issue.
ladies and gentlemen, Chris Reed, our Chief Legal Officer.
One of the things you have to be careful about if you're trying to provide science, people, we have tons of science. That's what my teams do. They make sure that every product, every ingredient is substantiated by science.
Love you.
Amen.
But when you look at that science, I read them all the time. Most people will not be able to read those studies and will misunderstand them and start misrepresenting what our products can do. So you have to be very, very careful. That's why we don't publish them everywhere, because there are a lot of studies we have that specifically on an ingredient, but it says something completely different because it's a slightly different ingredient, and they'll say, oh, well, I didn't know it could do that, and all of a sudden we have posts on them. So we have to be careful about what we do.
Great. All right.